It feels a bit odd to watch back that video. I did it during my second year of bachelor. I had no idea then that I would come out as transgender and live as a man. I took that sentence. It's a sentence I saw on I think it was a science mag about watching stars. The sentence was, in French, Le jour est à tout le monde, mais chacun a sa nuit. The day is a common space, but the night is more of a private space, a space where people are generally having very different activities. Maybe more linked to who they really are than in the day where they very often wear a mask, the mask of average. Somebody who would just watch the video with the breathing and the noises of the night could think about something dealing with the anxiety of being lost in the forest, when it's actually the opposite I wanted to convey. This night space was for me safe. I used to escape through my window because I couldn't sleep. I deal with insomnia since I'm 10 years old, and I'm now 28. I was going out by the window at around midnight and coming back at about 6 a.m, pretending I slept. And there, in the meanwhile, I was just walking, running in the woods, climbing in the trees. It's then where I can go on four legs, where I can exist a way I don't dare to exist that day. I feel night, for me, was this safe space, where all the things that I would see as a threat by day wouldn't exist anymore. I could be in the bushes, I could react like an animal, I could behave like an animal, I could walk on four legs, because I would hide when I would see a car. When I would see anything which looks like a human, I would just hide. And in the forest where I lived, there are no real dangers, wild pigs, but you climb the tree and they don't follow you. And I never felt threatened by an animal, actually. I felt more threatened by humans. I wanted to make a video about it because it was my version of night. But then, what I didn't think about was that I had this quite cheap camera and it was impossible to make a decent image in the dark. So I had to take a headlamp. I never thought I would be so dead scared in the dark with a headlamp, because I used to walk without it. I always thought that the darkness is soothing. Since very little, 2.5 years, I've got an eye disorder. My eyelids are basically eating my eyes in spans of crisis. And then later, when I used to have walks at some point with friends at night in the forest, I remember one time my friend was really pissed because I didn't want to take a light. And he got angry and he couldn't understand why I wouldn't take a light. And often with this, also here in Finland, I have been facing people constantly wanting me to take lights in the dark. And I would need a light if I would work outside, if I would do some very precise work that would require me to use my eyes like woodwork or something. But to walk and to be in the night, I feel unsafe with the light, because with the light, suddenly you're seen. And I remember I never got that scared in the forest. I was not because it was dark. I was because I had a light. And with that, the realization that everybody could see where I was. I lost my phone this night. My boyfriend at the time, I was afraid he would panic. And if I would last too long going back home, he would think something happened to me. So what I did, to just ring at an unknown lady's house, and it was around 23 p.m. And she opened me, and I wanted her to feel safe. I didn't want to come in. I just asked if I could use her phone to give a call to my boyfriend. And then she said, "Oh, but come in, no problem," because I looked like a woman then. And what she saw was a young lady alone outside at 23. Now I live as a man. I feel nobody ever would let me in. When you see a man alone at 23 p.m. in the dark, you think they're going to rob you. Even if they are the prey, you would see them as a predator. Then, a last thing. My whole relationship with night has been changing since I live in Finland. Because I feel we talk a lot in France about the warm summer nights. But in Finland there is no such thing as a warm summer night. Because it's not a night, it's not a real night. When it is night, it is cold. And when it is warm, it isn't night, it is dusk. You don't see the stars. And in the dark, I never felt unsafe. I never felt in danger. At least in the forest, in those situations.